This is task 2B, which is the test plan. You are asked to create a test plan for 3 different formulae and functions using the table below. So first thing is we're asked to use the table below, so let's just copy it. Okay, so there is our table. Now you're asked to do 3 different formulae and functions. That means it must be formulae and functions. That means tests that on things like conditional formatting, worksheet protection, buttons, validation, all of those are not formulae and functions. So there's no point trying to test those. When it says different formulae and functions, it means that the formulae and functions must do different things. So it's no good checking 2 tick boxes and how they work. It's no good checking, for example, that the registration fee comes through from B1 on the charges worksheet and the dual controls fee comes through from B2 on the charges worksheet, because they're pretty much the same formulae. So we need to do something that is different. What we want to do is we want to choose nice and easy formulae and functions, ones which have got very few input values. See, if I chose total cost, although it's a nice simple function, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values that input into it, of which many of those are calculations themselves. So let's choose to stick to something nice and easy, like we'll start with the registration fee. So our description is basically that we are testing the registration fee. All of our tests are valid because they are all formulae and functions. Now we need to decide on what is going to be the input data value for our test. So let's have a look at our registration fee. It gets its input data from the charges worksheet B1. So the first thing to do is make sure that we are very clear that we are using the charges worksheet. You see, you're giving these instructions of a test plan to somebody else to run the test. So they need to know exactly where you want them to enter the data. So on the charges worksheet, here is the input for the registration fee. So let's say we're going to ask them to use a registration fee of 34. So that is what we want them to type in. Now it's no good just me typing in 34, because where are they going to enter it? They've got to guess. So we need to say that we want B1 to be 34. Okay, so we'll press enter. Now what's our expected output value? If we type that in, what would we expect to happen? I'm just going to delete that for now because I don't want you to see what happens. We need to look on here and we have a look at our worksheet. This is the worksheet where we're expecting to see the result. Pricing model worksheet. We are expecting C10 to be something. So let's put C10 equals. Okay, now I can't say C10 is going to equal the value we've put in on B1. We've got to say exactly what we expect it to be. So if we put 34 in the charges worksheet, we would expect to see a registration fee of £34 and 0 pence appear here. So that's a test plan. We're not actually going to run the testing. Okay, you don't need to do that. But let's just say you did. We'll put in 34 here. And this is what the tester would do, because they would go B1 needs to be 34, pricing model, registration fee 34.00, that's the expected value, C10, 34.00, test has passed. Okay, let's do another one. We'll have a look at CCTV this time, because this involves an if statement. So our description here is going to be the CCTV charge. What are our input values for CCTV? Well, first of all, we've got the charges on the worksheet charges B3. B3, there it is. So what I'm going to do is we'll put charges worksheet again. Let's just copy what we did there as a starting point. And this time, I'm not going to use cell references. I'm going to show you a different way of doing it, because test plans can be done at the design stage, and at the design stage the actual development of the spreadsheet won't have happened, and so you won't know what cell references are actually going to be used. So what we'll do here is we'll say that on the charges worksheet we want CTV to be equal to £223. Okay, so that's what we would put in there. Now there is another input to that function. It's saying if C6 is true, if CCTV is true. So we need to say what is going to happen now. So this is on a different worksheet now. This is on the pricing model worksheet. And we want the CCTV tick box to be selected. It's not about putting true in here. It's about selecting this tick box, because that's the input. Okay then, so over here on the right hand side we've got what is going to be our expected output. So our expected output is going to be on the pricing model worksheet. And if we have a look, here's our CCTV. If CCTV is selected and the CCTV charge is 223 on the charges worksheet, we would expect £223 to appear, because the rules in the question said CCTV will only be charged for if it's selected. Okay, and the charge will be identified in the charges worksheet. So let's see if that works. So we'll go to the charges worksheet. Okay, somebody will type in 223 there. They'll then go back to the pricing model and they'll say, right, I need to make the CCTV tick box selected. So here's the CCTV tick box, let's select that. CCTV pricing model worksheet, £223. Right, what's supposed to be £223? They're not sure, they don't know, they can't complete the test. They could guess that it's supposed to be CCTV, but that's not their job. So we need to make sure very clearly that the CCTV charge, okay, is going to be £223. Right, let's do another one. Final one this time. This is going to be based on the vehicle excise duty. Now, the vehicle excise duty is based upon this lookup table and also whether or not alternative fuel has been selected. So here's our VED. So we'll start off with our charges worksheet, and then we'll move on to our prices worksheet. So let's just copy some bits and pieces down so we've got something to start with. Okay, so we'll have a look at our charges worksheet. What we're going to do is we're going to test that if we were to enter a value of 172, that the value £200 will be returned. But I'm going to change that value to £200 to be £187. So that's my first input. Okay, is that band H, so band H VED cost equals £187. Okay, now on our pricing model worksheet, I said I want the VED is going to be 172. And if we just check, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to achieve 172 will bring that band in. So I'll put in here CO2 equals 172. That's on the pricing model worksheet. And I'm going to say we'll test this if the alternative fuel is equal to 0. Not 0. Deselected. So there's no alternative fuel selected. So what would be our expected value? Our expected value is going to be on the pricing model worksheet. And we're looking to see what the VED will be. Now, if we put in 172 as a CO2 level, we would expect to receive here a return of £187. As that is the band H cost. If we select no alternative fuel, we don't expect any discounts. So we would want to see £187.00. So let's see if that works. First of all, we're told that band H VED cost needs to be £187 on the charges worksheet. So we go to the charges worksheet. Okay, band H needs to be £187. So I'm going to enter that there. On the pricing model, we're told that the CO2 should be 172 and the alternative fuel should be deselected. As a result, we're expecting to see a value of £561. Oh, we've got 187. We forgot one of the inputs, which was the term. So we need to make sure we put a term in there. Now, to keep it simple, I'm going to put that the term is going to be 1 year. Okay, so now when the tester does it and they put in 1 year, they now get a value of £187. Now while we're here, I'm just going to show you another common mistake that somebody might make. They might say, look, the CO2 level can be anything between 166 and 175. So I'm going to put in here 166 to 175. So I'll put value between. So the tester comes along and they go to test it and they go, oh, something between 166, get that bit right, 166 and 175. What do? Do I put in 166? Do I put in 175? Do I put in 170? You've got to be explicit in what you are telling the tester to do.